Hello, everyone. Raven of Raven Gaming Labs here, and welcome to the September update. Yes, that's right. I changed the name mainly because it looks better on a shirt, which is always really cool because I want a shirt of my channel, obviously. And also because RGL is way easier to say and handle than Raven67854 Gaming. Even though I've been doing that for ages, this is just less of a mouthful. So before we get started, I want to thank Boom and Rothmer for being members. Their support, helps support the channel. And, honestly, it's just fantastic. Like, it's really cool to have members. And they get access to member exclusive content, which you can too. Going to do a nice little plug here. Uh, and you can get early access to videos. You can get member exclusive videos. We're going to talk about that in a little bit. As well, you get some other little perks that are actually hopefully going to appear later this month. And you can, there's a link in every video. And there's also the big giant join button. So you can become a member that way. You can also, if you want to send like just a one shot, you can also, I think they call it a super thanks. It's kind of like a super chat, but you could just send it, just for that video. And I'm working on some other ways because some people have messaged me and said that they'd like to support the channel, but they don't want to, use Google to do it. So I'm working on it. It'll happen. Just, and before we start talking about August and September, I also want to point out that definitely do join the Discord. It's a growing Discord. We're up to, I think, as of right now, 79 members. And, it's game developers, Left 4 Dead 2 people, just gamers. It's great. So, August. So, a lot of stuff happened in August. Mostly, I was just working on this RGL and changing the name, getting some art and stuff done. And I also did stuff, Farthest Frontier did really good. Didn't get Left 4 Dead 2 stuff, as much as I had wanted. But I did make a new outro, which I'm super excited about because it works pretty good. I did the music, I did everything. You can actually see it at the end of this video. You can just click the the little chapter thing and just jump straight to the end if you like, if you just want to see what the outro looks like. And as far as September goes, the goal for September is to finish the Left 4 Dead 2 series. Just finish it, be done with it, move on with our lives. Hooray. The other big thing is what game/series to play through. So obviously I'm still going to cover, if developers send me early access to their game, I'm obviously going to cover that, of course. But I'm not really sure, what to, how do you say, do or like I'm not really sure what to play. So I'm putting it out there. You guys send your suggestions. If I like any of it, I'll play it. If not, I'm not going to. I'm going to be honest, I'm not going to play a game that I hate. I feel like no one should do that. The other thing is tutorials. So I'm thinking 1 or 2 GZDoom tutorials every month. Not very quick, but and the reason for that is I actually want to focus on Trenchbroom and Quake. The reason for that is there's only like 2 main channels that cover anything in relation to Trenchbroom and Quake. And as awesome as GZDoom is, I feel like Trenchbroom doesn't get enough love, and I feel like there's a nice little niche there to carve out for myself. So definitely going to cover that, but we'll see. I mean, may end up just doing 1 a week for each. I mean, there's plenty of time to do that. The other thing is Godot. I definitely do want to cover more Godot tutorials, but I'm waiting for the beta to come out before I start doing anything. The latest alpha was way more stable than prior ones, but SSAO, for example, is still broken for me. So, I was going to cover a video and I needed SSAO. Actually, I was going to make a video, and yeah, I was totally broken because of SSAO. But I mean, what are you going to do? But the other thing, and a lot of people don't know this about me because I don't really talk about myself on the channel. There's no real reason to. But for those of you that know me more, intimately in person and so forth, you'll probably know that I'm actually not a fan of game engines. It's just not a thing. I've never liked pre-built game engines. I've always felt that for all of their positives, they introduced more negatives, mainly because, certainly developing an engine like Unreal is very difficult, but I feel like there's a uniqueness, and also building your own in-house technology is just so much more. It's better for longevity, but this is not a rant or anything, so I'm going to move forward. So what am I going to move forward to? Well, I decided to start producing a Python tutorial series, and it'll come in two parts. One part will just be Python. And that one will probably, I don't even know how long that'll go for. And the other will be for PY game. And the reason why Python? Well, first off, there's literally nothing wrong with making 2D games with Python. In fact, you could even make full-fledged, C or C++ performant 3D games with Python. There's a couple different ways to do it. And we'll talk about that in a way later series. But there's some very interesting ways that you can do it, either by pre-compiling or using a LLVM JIT compiler to achieve the code if you're willing to sit there and wait for it. But we're going to focus on 2D. I don't know if we're going to go super crazy and do 3D, but you know what? We'll see what happens. And we're going to start with PY game, and we're going to make full-fledged games in Python from, Pong, Breakout, Asteroids, platformers, a Contra-like game, probably a 2D RTS. I want to cover, and why do this anyway? Well, first off, because, there's tons of Python tutorials out there. They're not mine, so I'd like to do that. And the other thing is Python's a great introduction into just, getting your feet wet into programming. And then from there, you can go and learn anything. And the way I use Python, I do use the, well, it's not really static typing, but it's similar to it. I do like to, we'll cover it when we get to it, but I do develop in Python a little differently with, time pinting and stuff like that. Then, I just don't just throw variables out there. I do like to assign them and so forth. And yes, it is possible to do that in modern Python anyway. It's not perfect, though, because the interpreter doesn't really check the way it should. But hey, maybe they'll fix that in the future. Yeah. So that'll be a thing, and I'm not really sure how that's going to go. I don't have any fixed time frame. I think that'll just be when it's done type deals. The next thing is the podcast. Now, I've been trying to do the podcast since July, but I keep getting sidetracked and derailed. So look forward to the ranting ramblings of my podcast later on. The last bit is the Retro Dev. So the Retro Dev is a side channel to this channel, and you can find it in the channels and at the bottom of the main page. And there will also be some other ways that you're going to be able to find it here shortly, because it's going to be in the descriptions of everything that I make. And basically, the Retro Dev is, think Raven Gaming Labs, but old. Basically, if it's before the year 2000, it's going to be on there. If it's not, then it's not going to be on there. So it's where I'm going to have tutorials for QBasic, 6502 assembly, probably NES development. I have lots of ideas for the channel. I've just been getting some, like I said, I've been getting a lot of stuff out of the way, and now I'm going to go full steam ahead. I'm really excited for all of this. And of course, x86 assembly, or rather 8086 assembly. Basically assembly before, Pentium 2, basically. We might cover some stuff on the early Pentiums, but basically it's for the DOS era and the very early Windows era. Using things like DOSBox, 86box. I did do some videos on RGL in the past, like last year, but I decided to make a dedicated custom channel for it. And that's being pretty good. So if you guys go over there and subscribe, that'd be like super cool. And yeah, I think that's everything. So now we're going to, kick off and go to the super lovely, very cool outro. And I will see you guys in the next one. Hey everyone, thanks for watching Raven Gaming Labs. Thanks to all the members and viewers who make RGL possible. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe, and don't forget to hit that bell so that you can be notified. If you want to become a member, hit the join button or link in the description below. Members get early access to videos, member-exclusive content, and more. As well, don't forget to join our awesome community over at Discord. Y'all have a good one.